at our presentation.
Hello everybody, welcome to the premiere, the pilot episode of The Closing Tag, right here on your favorite podcast provider. I am Raul Smith. The name of this particular episode is Pilot or Something. I talk a lot about web development. I talk about Donald Trump, not for the reasons that you might think. And I also talk about my biggest pet peeve as a developer. We dive really deep into a lot of these particular topics, and I invite you all to join us in the conversation on Discord. The link is in the description. Also links to my Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch channel, as well as the YouTube channel. So yeah, just a friendly reminder that this particular podcast is unofficially sponsored by Galactic Blue, your professional and personal web development, graphic design, and logo design resource. Visit galacticblue.net for how you may be able to benefit from our services. And with that in mind, I now present to you the premiere, the pilot, or something, debut episode of The Closing Tag. Enjoy. Welcome devs and deviants alike. Welcome aspiring web entrepreneurs and casuals. Welcome to the pilot, the debut, the premiere episode of The Closing Tag. I am Raul Smith. Forgive the awkward camera angle that if you're watching this right now on Twitch or YouTube. We'll do introductions soon enough. But for now, just a reminder that this Twitch stream and this podcast is unofficially sponsored by Galactic Blue, your trusted web development, graphic design, and logo design resource. Visit galacticblue.net for more details on how your business can benefit from our services. As I mentioned, my name is Raul Smith. I am the co-founder, co-owner, president, CEO, and lead developer for Galactic Blue. A little bit about myself. I have been in web development now for 11 years, 10 of which I've been working in some professional capacity or another. I've also been in that time intermittently a graphic designer, a logo designer, having worked with some local musicians here in the Utah area, and an SEO consultant. I've been working for about 2 years primarily as a React developer, developing React applications for both web and mobile, building web apps for companies such as Junker Treasures, Paddywhack Gifts, GameStream, you may have heard of them, and others. In fact, our very first web application built in React can be found at galacticblue.net. That's right, the Galactic Blue website is built exclusively in React. My hope with this podcast isn't to preach or ram certain ideals down people's throats, but rather to educate you and to help you, the listener, better understand the world around you. And who knows? Maybe you'll learn a thing or two about how web and mobile app development can benefit you and others. And if I can entertain you while doing so, all the better. That said, this is not a professional studio by any means. This is a very grassroots operation. I have no green screen to speak of. We have no sound chamber to block out outside noises. I mean, hell, you already see the camera angle. There will likely be dogs barking on occasion. There will likely be children in the background. On occasion, my daughter may hijack this stream like she occasionally hijacks the game stream. That's just how it goes. Speak of the devil. Hi. I don't have a Patreon page that you can donate to, and I wouldn't know what to do with one if I had one. However, you can always email me if you wish to make a donation. Hi, pretty kitty.
Is that actually a rabbit?
A rabbit, okay. If you wish to make a donation, you can contact me at contact@galacticblue.net. We can discuss off-air if need be. So here was the game plan originally. My work week would usually start on Thursday, so that way the way my podcast account is set up, I can drop 2 podcasts a month for free on the major hitters, Google Play, Apple, Spotify, etc. The original plan was we were tentatively planning to record the 2 monthly episodes live on Twitch the Sunday before the first Thursday of the month. You can catch the live stream, by the way, if you're not watching it now, on twitch.tv/galacticblue1. However, a recent schedule change at work has rendered that no longer an option. So we're bumping it to the Saturday before the first Thursday of the month, starting with next month's episodes. We're only doing it on a Monday today because yesterday kind of got bleh. When the audio hits the airwaves, I'll also be uploading the video onto YouTube that very same day. YouTube link can be found in the description. So we'll likely have a new video up on the YouTube feed every first and third Thursday of the month, along with audio on all the platforms, Google Play, Apple, Spotify, what have you. I'm going to shake down the format a little bit, okay? I'm likely going to open with some developer news that I've picked, cherry-picked a couple of things here and there from different news sites. Maybe updates on what's going on in the dev world, as well as any significant news in regards to search optimization. After the news, I'll likely touch on a topic that's going to be a bit divisive and maybe controversial. Well, okay, today's topic is definitely going to be controversial. No maybe about it. I can already tell people are not going to like what I have to say, and that's okay. After that, we'll dive into a project or tutorial that I'm working on until the hour break, which will be used at the end of the first episode of the podcast. At the top of the second episode, I will give out some quick shout outs, as well as give you guys a couple of Twitter recommendations. We'll then touch on the Discord topic of the stream, which today is a good one. What are some things you're hoping will happen in your life in 2021? I'll give you my answer to that question during the segment. I'll then go into my sports takes for the month, which in today's case will mostly revolve around basketball and football, especially with the Super Bowl coming up. Finally, I'll dive right back into our project, maybe dive into a project that I'm currently working on, and then we'll close the stream up from there. Keep in mind, as I do this is a do things as I go type of podcast, and again, I stress, for all the reasons that I mentioned before, a lot can happen on this stream and on this podcast. So, with that long-winded introduction out of the way, let's get to the news. Again, very grassroots effort. I have no sound effects to speak of, so you're going to have to deal with. So it's pretty clear in the marketplace that 3 key areas will likely be the focal point in 2021. AI, APIs, and React. Facebook is improving on their AI that can help describe photos that are in your newsfeed, which is kind of cool. There's turmoil at Google within their AI ethics department after the CEO fired Timnit Gebru, the lead researcher in that department. Spotify is even using the power of AI to detect your mood and orchestrate your playlist accordingly. Groups like Amnesty International have called for an outright ban on facial recognition software after the events of the Capitol riots, with so much emphasis on machine learning and AI. And frankly, with a lot of people sitting at home during the pandemic with not much else to do, it's no wonder training companies like Zenva, Pluralsight, and Udemy are seeing a dramatic uptick in their Python learning courses. Python, of course, is not just a back-end programming language, but is used in many facets of programming, including machine learning, API development, AI, setting up cybersecurity, and so much more. If it sounds like I'm being adsy about this, it's because it's something I'm very passionate about as far as stuff that's going on that's going to potentially be the future of development, not just for the web, but for all aspects of our lives. According to an independent study done recently, it appears that the training programs could see an even bigger increase in Python learning courses in 2021. And of course, those same sources indicate that hot on Python's heels for number 2 for increased learning interest, React, which is easily the most robust and popular JavaScript framework in the market today. No surprise there. And that would be a minion in the background. So a lot of our listeners probably don't know what the word fintech means. I mean, hell, I even had a hard time understanding what it meant up until several months ago. And I only did my research after I had applied for a job at a fintech company. So fintech, of course, is short for financial technology and covers a wide range of areas. Perhaps the most popular of them is cryptocurrency. With the recent boom in crypto in late 2020 and early 2021, particularly Bitcoin, it's no wonder the nextweb.com stresses that learning more about fintech could help you not only get a much better paying job, but may even help you get your foot in the door in investing in cryptocurrency. As of this recording, Bitcoin is valued at a little over $33,000 US.
Oh my god.
My thoughts exactly. Yes, one Bitcoin could net you $33K in the US. And financial experts are stressing that could just be the beginning of what could be a crypto boom coming. So I'm sure a lot of you listening to this have been stuck at home during the pandemic. Either you're out of work or you're working from home or remotely. Researchers and psychologists are starting to notice a disturbing trend with this, most particularly with working professionals. Teams that are exclusively video conferencing are seeing less efficiency than those that are working in person. The reason being, scientists suggest, is that human interaction gives off more nonverbal cues than others can pick up on and work with in real time. Additionally, response times in person are a lot faster than over a Zoom meeting, which could either lag due to internet issues or time out entirely. Additionally, human beings are physical and social beings by nature. We tend to feed off energy from one another, both good and bad, a lot more in person than we would during a video conference. So, moral of the story, the pandemic is definitely changing the way we interact with one another, and I'll probably have more to say about that later on. So, going back to the AI bit, our search optimization news comes to us courtesy of the online newsletter Search Engine Roundtable. By the way, I highly recommend that newsletter. Anybody that's serious about search engine optimization, subscribe to that newsletter. Seriously. Google has been able to make some minor changes to its algorithm recently, and those changes help them identify and blacklist, are you ready for this? Over 25 billion, that's right, billion with a B, pages a day.
Oh my
I was waiting for that. Most of these pages were labeled by Google's search optimization team either as spammy or phishing. In addition, there seems to be a lot of chatter and debate on how Google performs search rank. For instance, do they rank a page or do they rank by website? Really, the answer is both. Yes, Google ranks mostly the page, but if there's a page on the same website that is either found to have suspicious content on it or copy pasted content, plagiarism, that's kind of bad, that could negatively affect the page's ranking as well as the site's ranking. If the content is considered egregious enough, it could even get that site blacklisted. As always, anytime I talk to anybody about search engine optimization, be it a client, a fellow coworker, or even a rando on the street, my best advice that I can give them is to write original, effective content that sounds natural and drives home the message. Google values effective original content more than anything, and it definitely does not look like that's ever going to change. So everybody knows that there are two things in this world you don't want to talk about with others unless you looking to stir up a little bit of controversy: religion and politics. And for those that are on the outside, trust me when I say Utah is rife with people who believe they are on the right side of both. I am about to talk about politics, but I'm not going to express how elated and happy I am that Donald Trump, who I have adorned the moniker over the last 4 years of Emperor Tangerine, is no longer in office. In fact, I get it. I get why people like the guy. Now, set aside the snake oil salesman tactics, the failed business ventures, the countless lawsuits, the clear connections to white nationalism, and even the absolute pattern of corruption. Set all of that aside and look at the subliminal message being delivered to the core conservative base. Make America great again. I get the appeal. I really do. I get the appeal of wanting to return to a simpler, more easily digestible time. Conservatives by nature hate change, just in general. They don't like changes to how we eat, how we treat people different from us, and how we consume really anything. I mean, take a look at how they responded to the pandemic. From day one, they were the most vocal about not wanting to wear a mask. They were the most vocal about wanting to go back out to a normal life. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, though. But the normal life isn't coming back. Ever. Nor the glory days of men being the only breadwinners and gay people being shunned into living a lie. Those days are gone. Just as soon the days of consuming oil and coal will be gone. Just as the days of doing our normal grocery shopping will one day be gone, just like a lot of other things. Now, will there be remnants of those glory days still around? Eventually the days of going back to eating dinner at a restaurant or watching a movie in a theater? Yes, eventually. It'll take some time, but we'll get there. Also, conservatives love to blame the problem of not having enough jobs. I mean, this was before the pandemic, by the way, on illegals taking our jobs. I mean, how many times have you heard this? Those damn illegals from Mexico, they're taking our jobs without being able to speak English. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that a time or two. I hate to break it to you, Mexicans aren't taking your jobs. Robots are. More and more jobs are being automated. Think about it. When was the last time you went into a Walmart or a grocery store that didn't have 5 or more self-checkout lanes? When was the last time you went to a McDonald's that didn't have a self-order kiosk? When was the last time you called customer service for really anything and they didn't either A, reference you to their website, or B, try to solve your problem using their automated customer service? By the way, I really dislike that. I was trying to resolve a problem recently and they kept saying, go to the website, go to the website. I mean, if I felt like the website would do me any good, I wouldn't be on the phone, would I? Anyway, back to the topic. More and more cars are becoming self-driving. Combined with the increase in electrical manufacturing, oil demands will likely plummet and your friendly? Yeah, we'll go with friendly. Your friendly Uber driver will be replaced with a less friendly, albeit probably not as creepy, automated car. Truck drivers could also be on the chopping block. Think about it. Why would, say, Jeff Bezos want to pay a person that could easily fall asleep behind the wheel and cause a public relations nightmare to deliver that important package when a self-driving semi running on electricity would do just as good a job for the cost of maintenance? This is why I vocally and openly declared myself on Facebook the other day Team Bernie Sanders and Team Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They see the trend coming a mile away like I see it. I mean, let's face it, the fact is progress is hard. Progress is frightening. But progress is also inevitable. You can hitch your wagons to the last remnant of those golden days, want to make America great again, and hope to beat back the winds of change. But those winds, those same winds of change, were strong enough to tear down monarchies, slavery, and oppressive walls. And it's strong enough to tear down the last remaining fragments of what was once the greatest economy in the world. Now to the part you're not going to like. I'm about to offer a solution to the problem. I'm about to say something that may trigger more than half my audience, so just prefacing what I'm about to say with that. You ready? My solution is democratic socialism. I know, the dreaded S word. Trigger. A lot of people equate that word with communism and the old Soviet Union. But what if, and hear me out on this, what if we took the good of socialism but leave out the bad? Hear me out on this. Keep the capitalist drive and system that once made America what it once was, but without the people dying because they can't afford to go see a doctor. So the way I would do it is this. Have a baseline income that would allow the average American citizen just enough for rent, basic utilities, and food. Very similar to how the welfare system works now, but it would apply to every American so long as they're an American citizen. Add into that free public transportation and free medical care. Then, if that citizen wants to make extra income on top of that, be it a business of their own or working somewhere else, they can do that without being penalized. You still have that system in place that incentivizes you to do more if you want more, but also doesn't penalize you if you're out of work. And let's face it, at the rate progress is going, there are going to be a lot of people who will be out of work before all is said and done. Now, you're probably asking who is going to pay for this. Well, it's simple. Build the top 1%. So your Bill Gates, your Elon Musks, your Jeff Bezos, your Warren Buffetts. Put a cap on how much one person can make. There's not a single good reason why any one human being should ever have more than, rough ballpark, $10 billion. Just isn't. That's more money than 5 generations of people can spend in their lifetimes, even if you take inflation into account. So put it to good use for once, instead of it sitting in some rich cat's escrow account overseas. I'd rather have a butthurt billionaire groaning about not wanting to, or not being able to go over that threshold, than see another 400,000 people die in a year because we as a society are either too lazy or too stubborn to do anything about it. The time to act on the coming changes was last year when the pandemic hit. Let's be honest. The pandemic should have been a learning tool for how we should proceed going forward with society. It's still not too late. We can affect these economic changes soon so that those without work that want to work can still make a livable income. And really, times like these, that's all anybody can ask for. So something that drives me absolutely bonkers, grinds my gears as a developer, is seeing this nice, gorgeous, clean looking, responsive website. By the way, responsive is when a website automatically adjusts itself to screen size. So big for desktop, small for phones. And you scroll to the bottom as you get ready to see how to contact the company, contact the developer, what have you, maybe look at a sitemap, and only to find the copyright is at least 2 years out of date. I understand, because we're just barely hitting February of 2021. If the copyright were a 2020 year, I get that. That's forgivable. Life gets busy, things have to be approved by a number of stakeholders, you want to make sure it doesn't break code, I get it. But 2018, 2017, going back, I kid you not, as far back as I've seen as 2014 recently, no. Just no. I don't like using the word triggered, but that's a trigger for me. As a developer, I'm triggered by this. So today I am going to show you a few tips on how to keep that copyright year up to snuff automatically. So you do it one time, and then that way, once January 1st hits at midnight, as the calendar turns the year, so does your website. No further upkeep needed on your part because the code does it for you. And I'm going to show you how to do that in PHP, in JavaScript, and even show you a working example of that in React. That way you have multiple options on how to keep that copyright year up to snuff. I may only have time to do the PHP part for this particular episode, and then we'll hit JavaScript and React on the next one. How's that sound? So I am going to switch screens here, right here. All right. This is courtesy of CSStricks.com. So as you can see, let me increase the size here so you get a better view. For those of you that are on YouTube, you can take a look. So if you want just the current year in your PHP code, by the way, if you're doing this in PHP, you need to save the HTML file as a .php file. So then that way it's, more up to snuff and it's actually going to work. So you want to do an ampersand copy semicolon and then space, and then open your tag, open your PHP tag. So open caret question mark PHP space echo space date and then open parentheses, open quote, capital Y, so the letter Y but capitalized, close the quotation, close the parentheses, semicolon, space, question mark, closing caret. Really, that's it. That's literally it. That's how you do it in PHP. Now, if you wanted to get fancy with it, as you can see here on my screen, you can do a start year with an error protection. You can do a start year. So if you want to, let people know, like, hey, this is what year we started as a business, and this is what the year currently is. Kind of give it a little bit more, flavor, if you will. You can easily do that. Basically, do an auto copyright. There's a lot of different uses that you can use this for, and it makes your PHP site that much more professional looking. I'm telling you right now, people get turned off way easily by this sort of thing. Even if they don't necessarily do it intentionally, it is a subliminal thing. I promise you. I promise you're going to have a lot better time with this. By the way, if you're doing WordPress sites, they do this automatically for you. It's already done when you start up your WordPress site. Same thing with Drupal, same thing with Magento. All the CMS sites, or site builders, if you will, already do this automatically. So there's no reason for you not to. So I think we're going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and stop it there for now. This has been a fun journey, guys, and I do hope that you will join us for some more in the next episode. I'm going to have all of the descriptions in the bottom of the, either the YouTube video or on the podcast. But for those watching this on Twitch, hang tight. We're going to do a quick intermission, and then we'll be back afterwards. Follow me on Twitter at GalacticBlue1, Facebook.com/GalacticBlueUS, YouTube by searching for Galactic Blue, or I'm providing the link in the description, so there you go. Or if you want to see our live streams, head over to twitch.tv/GalacticBlue1. GalacticBlue.net is where you can find us, and the podcast is going to be up on Buzzsprout. That's right, Buzzsprout. Links for all the social media things can be found in the description of this video and or pod. We're currently working on a new website for the podcast, so kind of keep following us on Twitter for updates on that. I will catch you all on the flip side, and remember to always include your closing tag.
On that, our presentation.